Do you want to make sure you get a higher score on your next IELTS Writing Task too? Well, you've come to the right place. Hello, my name is Adam from IELTS Band Up, and I was an examiner for over 10 years, and I've helped thousands of students quickly improve their IELTS writing score. So, if you want to get better quickly, this video is perfect for you. It will explain how to plan, how to write, and if you go into the information section, there will also be a link to a PDF for how you can write a Band 9 or a Band 6, and everything is there. And if you would like my services, maybe you'd like me to help you with your writing, well, check everything in the information section. Let's get started. Today, we're going to focus on cause-effect essays. As you can see, they are part of 6 different types of essays. They are quite popular. Let me show you some examples of what they look like. First, obesity rates are rising globally. What are the causes of obesity among the population, right? So again, these are the causes. And what effects it has on individuals and society. So you can see the first part is you're focusing on the causes of obesity. And then in your second body paragraph, you would be focusing on the effects. The next topic is the habit of reading books has declined significantly in the digital age. What are the causes of this trend? Okay, so again, you would write about this. And what effects might it have on society? Now, the one thing I want to mention here is you cannot disagree with this statement, okay? Sometimes people want to disagree. Like you might be tempted to say, actually people are reading more online. Don't do it. They are asking you, what are the causes of this trend? You must follow the question and you must state the causes. You're not allowed to disagree. This is not an opinion essay. And this is something people don't explain well online. So I just want to make sure I mention this right away. Okay. And again, what effects might it have on society? Next is today's topic. Air pollution in many cities around the world is reaching hazardous levels. Hazardous just means high. What are the causes of this problem? Okay. And what effects it is having on the environment and society? And then that would be where you would talk about the effects. So this essay is for a band 7 to 7.5. It might get up to an 8, but I will try to use common connecting words, not too difficult vocabulary, and not too complex grammar. So I'll try to keep it around a 7 to 7.5. Your ideas and structures are what make a great essay. This is what I'm trying to focus on. I mentioned here, you must learn grammar and vocabulary on your own, right? The number one problem I saw as an examiner is people, they have enough vocabulary, they have enough grammar, but their writing style is not good. And the number one problem is they don't have ideas, which is what we're going to get into right away. Okay, so let's get started. Now, before we start, we always need to make a plan. Okay. Now, before we start, we always have to make a plan. And I mention this in all of my videos. You have 40 minutes to write the task 2. And the number one complaint people have is they say, I don't have enough time. That's not true. If you spend 10 minutes planning, 10 minutes is a long time. If you make a good plan for 10 minutes, you still have 30 minutes to do the writing. And if you write 10 words a minute, which is not fast, that's 300 words. If you write 15 words a minute, which is a little bit faster, but not that crazy, now you're up to, you got it, 450 words. So please, people say there's not enough time. And the truth is, there's plenty of time. It's just you didn't have good ideas ready and you kind of wasted your time kind of repeating yourself. All right. Now, a lot of times people will start writing right away and then they'll stop writing and then they'll go and check what they wrote and then they'll write some more and then they'll check what they wrote. But if you have a good plan, you don't have to go back and check what you wrote. But anyway, let's get started with ours. So again, let's pretend the essay's starting now. We're going to write this together. All right. So here, what are the causes of, right? And just to be clear, what are the causes of air pollution? And there are many causes, right? You could talk about burning fossil fuels, industrial activities from factories, vehicles. These are cars on the roads, farming and agriculture, right? And already this is too many. I always mention you should have 3, but we can keep going, right? Construction, or even natural causes like a volcano. Again, the faster you can come up with ideas, the better you will be able to do. Now, I recommend 3, right? 3 is what you want for a band 7 or higher, or 2 is for 6 or lower, but I'm going to grab 3. Fossil fuels, these are things like oil, gas, right? I'll stick with this one too. I'm just going to stick with the top 3. I mean, I could talk about farming. Basically farming, it's a little funny to say, but animals farting, construction, but I'm just going to stick with the top 3. Okay, we're going to go with those. Now, we also need to plan for, right, what effects it's having on the environment and society, right? So we need to go and make a plan for this one. And it's having lots of effects, right? Well, first, it creates a lot of health problems for people. It's harmful to animals like bees or birds, or it can actually damage plants. Acid rain, which is when the rain is actually poisonous. Climate change. For example, too much carbon dioxide makes the world hotter. And all of these tie into economic costs. This means, because we have to spend money on healthcare or cleaning up the environment, or maybe we can't grow enough food, this makes everything more expensive. Okay, so a little hard. Like, which one should I hope? I'm going to go with definitely health problems. Yeah, I think these 2 or these 3 would be. So we'll go with health problems and climate change and economic costs, right? This just makes everything more expensive. Okay, now let's get writing. Now, the first thing I want to point out is what a lot of websites recommend, and it's not that bad, is you can take the question and just change some of the words. You could just add this. Nowadays, people believe, right, that air pollution in many cities around all over the world we could just say, is becoming dangerous, right? And then this essay will outline the causes of this problem, right? And also and the effects it is having on the environment and society. So this is how, if you want to get a 6 or lower, which is fine for a lot of you, then this is perfectly fine. But, right, to make a better first impression, make it personal. Okay, so make it personal. And, for example, I live in South Korea. I'm living in South Korea, and I've noticed over the past 10 years that there have been more warnings regarding poor air quality and the government suggesting people to stay inside. This essay will outline the main causes of air pollution and what effects these are having on our environment and society. Period. This looks much better, okay, for the introduction because it's got just a little bit of a personal touch. And when the examiner reads this, he or she feels like you're really using your voice. If you do this, it gives the impression of, okay, this is another person kind of following the kind of writing by numbers format, and it just doesn't look as good to the examiner. Maybe your essay's great. Maybe your body paragraphs are fantastic and your score and the examiner is surprised, right? But most of the time when people start like this, the examiner's first impression is, okay, this is a 6 or 5.5 or lower. And then it's kind of human nature to kind of look for how this does fall out. But when you start like this, the examiner's first impression is better, and they might give you a little bit higher score than maybe you deserve. It really does make a difference. Now, we need to jump into the body paragraph, right? Now, the easiest way to do this is to focus on, right? Body one is the causes, right? So let's jump into the causes and let's do the most important thing. That's the topic sentence. And the topic sentence for this could just be as simple as, there are a number of causes of air pollution. That's enough, right? But you'll notice in this video and other videos that I recommend a little bit better because we made a plan. Now I can make, right? I can make my topic sentence a bit more clear, and this will raise my score. So let's go. However, the top three are burning fossil fuels, comma, industrial activities, and vehicle use, period. This looks much better. All right. Now we use some connecting words. Again, we'll start with, it doesn't matter which one we start with. I think this is the strongest one, right? This is the biggest point. So you might want to use an expression like this to indicate that. First and foremost, comma, the burning of fossil fuels is the number one cause of air pollution. Period. When we burn oil and coal, this releases a lot of pollution into the air, which is harmful for people, period. Okay. There is, right? We'll change this to main cause, right? And there you go. So there's first and foremost. That's the first one we want to mention. And then this is where I explain it in more detail. Okay. Now we're going to move on to the second point, and industrial activities from factories. Another major contributor to air pollution would be industrial practices, such as factories. This can be seen when you drive by or see videos of areas with a lot of factories and how much pollution there is in the air. Period. And there's the second point. Now, again, I could use bigger words, but I'm trying to keep this simple. And remember, you can check the PDF connected or in the information section, and you can see, a little bit better, right? You can see better vocabulary, better grammar. But again, keeping it very simple, I really want to focus on the writing structure. Okay, so here's my second point. Now we can get into the third point. And the third point is vehicles, right? Lastly, vehicles such as cars or heavy trucks release a lot of toxins in the air. For example, around the world, millions of barrels of oil are burned each day so that people can drive and deliver goods. And this is a major contributor to air pollution, period. And there we go. And there's our third one, right? So there we go. There's this. And in the world, millions of barrels of oil are burned. There we go. And there's the last example. And here, for example. Great. So now you can see, now we have a complete paragraph. And it's 145 words. We're looking good. Together, we're only up to 197. Now, this is a little long, but if you are only trying to get a band 6 and you stop writing here, well, that's 96 word. This would be kind of like what a band 6 or 5.5 would look like. So kind of go for 2. But if you're trying to get that higher score, well, go for 3, right? Now we're into the next body paragraph, which is focusing on the effects, right? So, air pollution has a very negative effect on society and individual. Now we can stop there, right? Or we can add a little bit more, right? Because we outlined, we got, health problems, right? Next one, climate change and economic costs. Okay. So let's add to this. And the top 3 are increased health problems for individuals, climate change, and increased economic costs. Now this topic sentence is much better. So let's get into first health problems, right? First, air pollution leads to a lot of health problems, especially related to lung diseases, which can be seen with the increase in lung cancer rates. Okay, so there's our first one done. All right, so let's just mark that out so you can see. First, or firstly, you could do both. First, and then, right, to lung disease, which can be seen increase in lung cancer rates. This is actually quite short, right? Which can be seen with, and then this is kind of giving our point. Could we add more? Yes, but I will keep it simple for here, or I could add a little bit more later. The second point is focusing on, right, climate change. Another major effect of air pollution is climate change, and more specifically, the warming of the Earth's atmosphere, period. Because there is a drastic increase in the amount of carbon dioxide, this is causing the ice caps to melt and raising the oceans and causing more severe weather. Right? So now we have our second one, right? Another major effect of air pollution is, here we go, second, And because there's a drastic increase in the amount of carbon dioxide, so this is kind of giving more specific, right? This is our example. And there we go. Now we're going to go for the third one. And the third one was here, economic costs. Furthermore, comma, all of these health problems and severe weather lead to economic costs, which makes it more expensive to live. For example, comma, governments need to raise taxes to rebuild areas after a hurricane or typhoon. And they also need to spend more on healthcare because of the increased number of people getting sick, period. So there we go. This is our third point. And let me just make that nice and clear for you. So furthermore, there's our last one. And where's our example? Yep, here example. We could change this one. We've already said example. So let's go with for instance. And now we're cooking. Right? There's the third one. 1, 2, 3. And how long is our essay? Well, let's just look at this paragraph. So we kind of the goal is for a band 6, we want around 100 words. Wow, perfect. 100 words. Okay. Now, if you wrote the whole thing, 3 points. Now we're getting up to 150 words. Okay. So the whole essay thus far, if you're going for that really high score, well, now we're up to 350, which is manageable. Like I said, if you're writing 12 words a minute, you'll be fine. Okay. Now, in the conclusion, the easiest thing to do is just to summarize, right? So the way to summarize, and you don't have to summarize, but this is often the most comfortable way. Air pollution is mainly caused by burning fossil fuels, comma, increased industrial activity, and vehicle usage, period. The effects of air pollution are increased health problems, comma, global warming, and the economic costs associated with this. Great, that's fine. So if we stopped here, there we go, 35 words. That's enough. But you might look at your watch. Well, you're not supposed to wear a watch, but you might look at the time and think, well, I've got a little bit more time. Maybe I can say a little bit more. Remember, you can always make a prediction and you can always make a suggestion, right? For me, I'm going to go with suggestion first. Okay, so suggestion. Therefore, comma, I believe that governments need to do a much better job of working together and lowering air pollution to create a better future for the next generations. Now, we could do a prediction. I could say, you could say, I believe this will get better, or you could say, I believe it's going to get worse. You could put that in prediction, and that would be fine. But I want to give like a little bit of a warning, right? Like kind of follow on this. If we continue down this path of polluting the air, comma, we might be left with a world that is unlivable. Pretty dark. Okay. So, but it's true. I just want to make that point really strong. Just to show you what a prediction, I do believe that we will start to make changes so that we can have a better future. And that's fine, right? That's kind of the prediction. But I just really want to show you guys, you can make prediction, you can make a suggestion, you can give a warning, you can have a call to action. And this is how you make your conclusions better. Most websites and most people, they just focus on summarizing, right? What has been said. But you can do a lot more. Okay, so I'm going to delete this one. And there we go. So let's give a final word count. And here it is. 493. Okay, that's a little long, but do remember, if we add up this, right? Or even this, again, if we're going for, a band 6, you can make it much shorter. But anyway, we got 50. Remember, 100 here, 100 here. That's 250. And then if we start here, so 250 plus 35, it's 285. And if you write around this level, you would get probably a 6.5. Okay. Now remember, if you're looking for a little bit lower level, check the information section. I have a PDF there where I explain the score for this writing and what a band 6 would look like and what a band 9 would look like. And in the band 9, yes, there's lots of fantastic vocabulary and expressions you can look at. Maybe it'll be useful for you for talking about the environment. So I do recommend checking that out. Now, if you're interested in me checking your essays, please contact me. All the information is there if you go to the information section. But the number one thing I want to say is the IELTS test is not just a language test. It's actually a test that's checking your ideas and your ability to explain your ideas. And this is where a lot of people lose their score. So if you follow this video and my other videos, you definitely have a much better chance of doing better on your next IELTS test. So thanks for watching. Make some comments, ask your questions, make sure to like, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.